Alright, my name is Latanya. I'm 28 years old and I have 37 months left on my enlistment with the Navy, and all of it's sea time. So now is a fantastic time for me to be saving up. And on this Sea Time Saving series, I'd like to review my monthly budgets, see how my spending has actually played out. I want to work on minimizing wasteful spending, but I also don't want to be too strict on myself. But really, this is about building up my portfolio so that I can work towards financial independence. So I was gone for October and November, so we're going to do both those months together and go over my plans for December. So October saw me digging into my savings a little bit. That's still like plenty. I invested really aggressively in September, which I'm glad about because that was a good time to invest in retrospect. And October, I still got a good amount of money invested. Let's look at the actual numbers here. So I did some changes to my spreadsheet that I'm really pleased about, trying to focus more on the things that really matter. Anyway, but the expenses and income are categories are roughly the same. So I plan to stuff my retirement accounts aggressively, but then I changed my mind, and I thought the change wouldn't take effect until November, but it took effect for October, so I ended up with more cash. So I had more in my savings and less in my retirement accounts. So in October we stopped in Halifax, Canada, so that's where I did all of my shopping and whatnot, and I was expected to be super strict on my budget. I don't know why I expected that, but I ended up spending quite a bit more than I would have if it wasn't like a you have 2 days to have as much fun as possible sort of thing. I'm not enjoying my time in the Navy. I'm glad that we got time off, and it's cool or whatever to see new cities, but when you're there with the Navy, it's not really like a vacation. It's like makes you want to go on vacation. Anyway, so I blew out my budget in October, which is fine. I still saved plenty. 30% went into investments. That's not including how much went into my savings, which, well, I did pull from my savings for the other half of my half for the wedding venue. So I got pretty close to breaking even. I was like $100 off. That's fine. Alright, now let's talk about the income here. I just pulled the money for the wedding venue from my savings account. I got a decent amount of interest because the Ally savings account has increased their rates gradually. Cashback, I finished that Visa Signature Cash Awards sign-on bonus with Navy Federal. So I got a fat stack of cash back. And now for the fun part, my annual tracker. So that's how much income has flowed into my accounts. And I spent 71.1% of that income, saved 28.9%. That's good, but I can do better. I want to do better than that. It's a good start. So my portfolio is my stocks, cash, bonds, CDs, $42,211.26. That is a good start, but it's mostly not in the market, which I'm very hesitant to invest too aggressively, although September would have been a good time in retrospect, but as long as the student loan forgiveness situation remains in limbo, I'm really hesitant to let go of too much of my safe investments. So in October, my stocks went up a good deal, still down from what I've put into the stocks, but trending in the right direction, that's for sure. Alright, now let's get into November. Alrighty, so November we invested a little bit more than in October, and savings account balance went up. So it felt like a similar sort of month, but let's just look at the breakdown here. Things are pretty similar, but I put more into savings. So I was really strict with my October budget, but I revised for November because I had a better idea of what to expect. So going into a foreign port. So in November we went to Portsmouth, England, which was really more like everyone wanted to go to London. I barely got to spend any time in Portsmouth, really. And really didn't feel like we got enough time in London. Yeah, port calls are disappointing, and it's funny because we got a really good deal by going out for 2 months and getting 2 port calls, apparently. But yeah, so this budget was much more realistic, but I still went over. I wasn't expecting to get a hotel room in London. That didn't seem like I was gonna be on the list for that, but I ended up being on that list, so I spent the money for it. And we spent money to get around by train and the subway system. And this $270 other payment is for the alterations on my dress. When I got home, I was able to go to that alterations appointment at the end of the month and get that done. So I don't know why my paycheck is so off from oh yeah, there was some weird things going on with that. I digress. It's not important. And interest, got a good amount of interest from Ally primarily. cash back. Got a fat stack of cash back because my fiance is using my credit card as well and paying off his purchases. And this other category was a cash gift. So really, the cash gift is the primary reason this month looks better than last month. I think otherwise they were pretty similar. I should probably add up my actual expenses and compare, but it's pretty similar. And now the exciting part. So, money flowing into my accounts, $30,349. I spent 69.8%, saved 30.2%. Nice. We love to see it. But stocks, so I put more in stocks, of course. I'm really trying to push investing, but it's a gradual thing. I can't let go of a certain amount of safe investments, but as I push more money into stocks, it'll even out to where I'd like to be, which is I'd like my portfolio to be at least in the 60% stocks range, and it should just naturally drift up from there much more easily. But once my student loan situation is all sorted out, I'll have an easier time being more aggressive with my investments. So, this November was a fantastic month for stocks, by the way, because we're almost to the point of breaking even. So, I'd be really surprised if December does not see a breaking even on the stock investments. Alright, speaking of December, let's go ahead and talk about that budget. Okay, so here is my December plan. I'm going to put about the same amount in retirement, $145 into savings. My rent is going up a little bit, so I already made this payment, $514. Utilities, okay, this is going to be a little high just because we just got Wi-Fi set up in the apartment. We've been living in the dark ages all year long. Well, really since February. But yeah, so that's $50 higher than it should be because I'm factoring in my half for the setup fee. And car, I'm so upset with my car, but one good thing is my insurance has gone down. It's like $10, but I'm assuming I'm going to be driving around a bit. I'm just gonna keep that. I'm assuming like $100 for gas, but we'll see how that actually turns out. And with the food and entertainment, I think I'm being a little conservative. Like, I would not be surprised if I go over in those categories, but all in all, this is a decent budget. I don't expect to be shopping at all. I'm kind of over shopping. I'm really, really exhausted, and I hope to lay down and just enjoy being at home as much as possible because I'm not gonna be home very much in 2023. And this other category is the last of wedding planning money. I'm gonna pay off the rest of our catering bill, so that's half of the other half of our catering bill, and then that'll be it for the thick wedding expenses, and that's coming out of my savings, of course. Alright, this was much too long. I'm so exhausted, but I'm still pretty excited about sorting out my finances, achieving financial independence. Yeah. Alright. Thanks for whoever bothered to watch. I don't know why I'm so quiet.